What's going on, traders? Welcome back to Start Swing Trade. And boy, what a day. It seems like we got ourselves nothing but ourselves a bubble environment. And it seems like we keep going higher. And I know that everybody keeps looking at these stocks, and I hear it all around. Well, they have to be turning around at some time. They don't need to. Seems like they don't want to turn around. And be careful, traders. It could keep going higher as we keep pushing up. Let's go to the SPY here. We're up there now towards 451.37. Just got a recent pop to 452. And what a move has it been? It's been a great day for stocks overall. Goldman cutting its recession probability. I think it was at like 35, 40. It went down now towards 20% from 25%. So more and more recession outlooks getting cut out of the market. And that's just going to do what? Going to continue to give us the ability to keep going higher. Q's pushing higher today. And it can't stop, won't stop. Look at technology stocks, leading stocks, Apple. We were looking at it just today on Market Structure Edge, of course, on PreMarket Prep. It was showing up there that Apple could have a liftoff today. Really nice looking chart here. Came back up, actually came all the way back down to the hourly support, and then really took off. This is why I'm starting more and more to use these hourly charts. And this is what I would say to traders out there. Be careful with the smaller time frames. I'm seeing a lot of pullbacks towards hourly support and then getting the takeoff a little bit after that. Another stock that I tried to trade today and got a gain, but nowhere near what I should have had, is Chevron. It's up there to 153. And a lot of this is what? Holding to the hourly outlooks. We got to be careful with hourly outlooks right now. Financial services jumping right back today. JPM getting higher. Bank of America getting right back up there. Citigroup. We'll see how Bank of America's earnings come in tomorrow. Of course, we need to keep a lookout on those earnings. But overall, really strong day. There's only about what? We got three sectors in the red. We got communication services, of course, getting destroyed by AT&T. That's not helping it. Verizon's not helping it as that goes lower. Even T-Mobile taking a little bit of a pullback today. But definitely Verizon and AT&T just getting completely smacked. And not an area that I really want to be in. You know, maybe I could have T-Mobile, but do I even want Verizon? I don't know anymore. As Verizon's getting weaker and weaker, look at this chart. This just doesn't look like the same company as what we used to know Verizon before. Actually, we're going back here now towards 1996 price levels, and we could easily be back at 95 price levels. These are companies that just don't have the same pizzazz as they used to. Let's keep going. We'll get out of communication services. Utilities also pulling back today. This is actually looking like it's trying to set up for another up move here. I take a look at the daily chart and just kind of keep it watch. It's going sideways right now. Sleepy. We'll look to see if it gets above 67s or below 65s. Right now, I'm betting more closer towards the 67s and the 65. Of course, you guys can see the price action. Of course, smash the like button out there. I'll catch up with you guys in just a second. Just going to try to keep us going here. We'll take a look at some of my trades that are still on. Of course, I still have Deere. Deere now up there to 421. And I've had this from where? From 401, team. We're up about 4.83%. Really nice trade here on Deere. Now getting up there close to the 5%. We'll look to see if this can keep pushing higher. As we're up there now towards the 421s, we could keep pushing. This could get back up there towards even 440s. So I'm going to let this ride up a little bit higher. Cat not looking bad either. Just keep your eyes on industrials overall. XLI, really nice opportunity today. I talked about it on live trading around this 108.50 level for a nice little rise. Above that, it went to 109, came back here right towards 108.59, and then bounced right back up there towards 109.30s even, and looking good here on XLI. You guys can keep your eyes on different stocks in the industrial space. I know I'm going to be watching to see what happens here. There's different spaces that are getting the lift today. You know, we'll see if these can keep pushing a little bit higher. Doesn't look too bad right now. Let me try to grab some of these. Pollution treatment controls, security protection system, airport and air services having a good time. Farm and heavy construction, staffing having a decent lift there. So keep your eyes on stocks there. We'll look to see what type of stocks can continue getting a lift. ADP looks like it's been getting a lift as of late. Take a look at that. ADP really pushing strong. And of course, this could have come off the jobs number, but farm and heavy construction also doing good. Picard continuing to lift now towards 87. Look at this takeoff since June. It's been about a 30% move up there in Picard, and we got to keep our eyes on because this could keep going. ITW looking good as this continues going through the 251 today. We'll look to see if this keeps pushing with GE and Honeywell. Remember, Honeywell was at 200 just recently, now trying to get back there towards the 210. This doesn't look bad at all. Now, one that I did have that did get the lift, and I don't know what's going on with this whole rebalance situation. It seems very confusing to me. I know I've been kind of working in the background doing some graphical work, so maybe I missed some headlines today, but it's not looking that good on the outlook that the bigger stocks were going to come down, but the smaller stocks going up. Yeah, that at least is paying off here. I did take a shot there in eBay, up now on 1.68%, not doing too bad. Got this at 46.50s. It's up there now towards 47.30s. We'll look to see if it gets going through the 47.50s and continues higher. This one doesn't look too bad. I also have LAC. LAC is one that I'm just looking to continue driving with the daily chart. Really want to see a move here to 22 and 23 for a bigger move on Lithium Americas. We'll see what happens with these. And definitely, I see a lot of stocks being thrown up in the chat. I'll make sure to take a look, guys. You guys keep them coming. All right, LAC is my last kind of trade there. I did open a new one, Prologis. Of course, this is a REIT, so I'm looking for this to kind of get back above the 130s and really start to push, but not going to risk too much here. Probably risk about $3, but really want to see this kind of get back up there towards 140 and 150. We'll see what happens on PLD. All right, let's keep going. We'll get out of the industrial area. I know we were taking a look at those stocks. Those look like they want to continue lifting. Technology overall, some of the bigger names taking a little bit of a pullback. Interesting to see Google down today, right? Google down today, yet Apple up big. Well, I'll be looking for pullbacks on Google to see if it takes that next leg up. And then also NVIDIA now starting to get the lift. It was struggling there for a little bit. Just recently, just started to take off here. So that another stock you don't want to get in front of. Same thing for Tesla. We were talking about it just here on Friday. Should I go short Tesla? And I was like, I don't know, man. That just seems like a lot of risk throughout the weekend. And there you guys see it. It's back there towards almost 290s. It just seems like these, especially these big stocks, you don't want to be going short because right now you're going to get run over. And even if you get it right, how many times will you get run over before you get it right? That's one thing to keep in mind. All right, let's take a look at some other stocks out there. I will catch you guys in the chat. And then, of course, we'll go through some more rotation talk. Like always, you guys can throw up some tickers in the chat and we can go through them. All right, it's good to see you out there. Jenny, Easy, Jay Rice, what's going on? Mystery, Intel having a decent day. EKS bringing up. That's not a bad one to take a look at. Jenny giving us some lists that she's looking at. Positive movers, Overstock, PayPal, Plug Powers. Not looking too bad. AMD was one that actually caught me on that up move. I was just able to get out of it really quickly as it did start to make its move back up. And this one could get moving right back towards 130. We'll see what happens. It seems like a lot of these stocks kind of starting to get the lift now. Intel right back towards 34. And of course, this one made mentions with NVIDIA that really started getting it moving. I had it for a little while there. And I think this could really keep lifting. So keep your eyes on Intel. We don't know where it's going to go, but it could be right back up there to 37, 40s in a couple of days, as long as this trend can keep going, as long as the AI names can keep going, and as long as we don't get no disaster earnings. It looks like we could keep pumping to the upside. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other action in the market. Yes, Intel, definitely one of those names in tech that did well today. You also had solar, the industry that did well today. Overall, A lot of solar names getting a lift here, and now something that we need to keep a close eye on. I was able to play First Solar on Friday. Not a bad move here as it pushes back there through 200 and 207. This is one I did not keep on my radar all day long. If not, I probably would have played it. Nice move there, up there towards 207. ENPH also with a really nice move, and also SEDG really starting to get the lift. I've talked about how this one likes to go off the monthly chart and start making a move. We'll look to see if it can get to 300. 300 could be the lift off there for SEDG. And then there's some other ones to take a look at. I like Max N as it starts slowly going right back into the daily pattern here. I think this one could start making its move to 28 and 30s. Doesn't look too bad there on Max N. All right, let's keep going. We did take a look at some of the solar names, just catching up with you guys in the chat. I see some names up there. We'll make sure to take a look. Good time to buy AT&T at the lowest. I would stay away. The problem with AT&T is that they just don't have much growth in their business. What else can they do to get growth in their business? Their fiber business is struggling. Their internet business with the fiber is struggling. Their cable is struggling. Every side of the business just seems to be struggling. Wireless is struggling. DirecTV is struggling. I don't see the upside for AT&T by any means. All right, we'll keep going here, team. We'll take a look at some other action in the market. Let's keep going. Technology having a good, but also semiconductor equipment and materials stocks having a good lift. Stocks like AMAT getting another step up. Lam Research right back up there to 660. KLAC up there to 491s and continuing to lift. Doesn't look bad. These equipment stocks, especially semiconductor equipment stocks, they look really strong and they look like they could keep going. Ambarella starting to get a little bit of a lift there. Semiconductor equipment and material stock. This is one that I could keep an eye out for a move, maybe back through 85. And this is in kind of like smaller parts plays, but hey, we'll see if this chip player can start making the move up and Ambarella can make a move to 85. We'll see what happens on semiconductor equipment. Semiconductors overall, not looking too bad on some of these. I've talked about Intel and AMD having a good day. AVGO with a nice little bounce back. Texas Instrument starting to make a move here towards 185. It just seems like a lot of these are starting to make a move. Qualcomm with a nice little lift here. Doesn't look too bad at all to start really kind of lifting off. We'll look to see if it gets up there towards 125. This is not a bad one to keep on watch. I really like the weekly chart. If we could really start pushing back through 130 on Qualcomm, you'll be looking a lot better. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other action here. Micron was another one that I could see getting off the bottom that looked pretty strong here. I kind of really like this play because it really started to make a nice little uplift. Now I'd be looking for pullbacks towards like 64.50s or 64.75. We'll see what happens there on Micron. If I can get a move back below that 64.68, I wouldn't mind taking a little bit of a shot off the 64. We'll see what happens there in Micron. Marvell getting a little bit of a lift, and the stock that can't stop, won't stop, MCHP, Microchip Technologies. I know a lot of people talk about this one. Really nice daily candles, and when this pulls to the 9 EMA, has a tendency of holding that and taking a big rip up back towards the resistance. Big pulls back to the 9, right back to the resistance. Not a bad trade there. All right, let's keep going. Semiconductor equipment. Let's go to the application names. Some of these doing well today. Intuit going a little bit higher, looking like it wants to break above this 490, maybe get to the 500, right? Just seems logical to me. Uber going higher, Shop going higher. So a lot of these stocks just staying strong. CDNS staying strong. Snow is one that I'd keep a watch on. It did do a rapid pullback today towards 180, and then it's right back up there to 184. I feel like this one could really get going. It had a lot of news with different major providers. Let's see if this really can start pushing back towards 190. All right, let's keep going through the list there. Workday going higher. That could definitely be in kind of an AI type of play. We'll keep a watch to see if these stocks can keep pushing. The trade desk starting to really push off. And this is what? Showing me what? That advertising is coming back. So keep your eyes on stocks like Magnite. that's one that I'll put on the radar, because if TTD is going to be making that type of move, I'll keep watch to see if Magnite can really start lifting. Of course, this one used to be a favorite in programmatic advertising. Let's see if this one can push through 16. I'll keep an eye out for MGNI. There's PubM. There's a lot of these companies you guys can keep watch. PubMatic has been making a move as of late. I'm going to have to take a look and interview PubMatic again. It's almost up there to 20s. Nice little last week move. 4 days pulling sideways here. We'll look to see if it gets through the 950 spot, a 1950 spot, and starts to make a move higher. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other action. Any ideas what's holding Amazon down, folks? I think it's just pulling back after that recent gap, right? And so Amazon, of course, last week had the Prime days that lifted it. As long as it can hold like 50% retracement of that recent move, so you grab the down wick there, the high wick there, and you draw 50% retracement, that puts you right around the 131 gap close. So if it can fill the gap and come right back up, it won't be looking too bad here on Amazon. We'll look to see if it gets back up there to 131 and then takes out 135. This stock loves to pull back to the 9 EMA and catch a little buying. We'll see if that happens. All right, let's keep going. We can take a look at some other stocks other than technology. Let's go to a different area, basic materials, as aluminum, right back to the upside. AA starting to get a little bit of a lift. Silver and steel going a little bit higher. Keep your eyes on steel. I've been watching Steel Dynamics for a little bit of a setup. If it wants to start coming back through the 110s, now it's starting to push. It's starting to hold the pullbacks. Would love to see it come right back up here towards 109 and take out the 110s. Could risk off the 105s today, but instead I'm just going to send an alert for 108 tomorrow to see if this can keep climbing to the upside. Steel Dynamics, Nucor is one that you guys can definitely keep an eye out. NUE, will this one keep pushing? Let me take a look there. Doesn't look too bad. Nice little pullback to 170. 170 going to be vital if it wants to keep going. All right, let's keep going. Steel not having a bad day there. Lumber and wood production, WFG up again. Another day that it goes up. UFPI, one that to keep an eye out for. So lumber, wood production holding strong right now. BCC is another one taking off, and it looks like these lumber stocks are taking off, and that's going to do what? That's going to bring some inflation back. So be careful out there, team, if we really start to see this take off. Building materials continuing higher. That stops and can't stop and won't stop. CARR is a stock that I've been talking about as of late that could keep going. And man, has had a huge push lately. And of course, the leader that had been pushing, BLDR, continuing the nice little lift there to 142.80s. The trend's your friend and continuing higher, at least for the time being. Gold going higher, so keep your eyes on those stocks. Doesn't look too bad after a nice little pullback. Can it really get going? That's one thing that I'm pointing at, and one thing that I'm looking at to see if it can get that next lift. We'll see what happens there on gold. Specialty chemicals, interesting. Of course, I'm in some industrial metals and minerals, looking for this to get a little bit of a bounce and take that next leg to the upside. I could also keep an eye out on different stocks here, right? Like tech and Vail. Will those start to get the lift, right? This doesn't look too bad. Tech, of course, you're talking to industrial metals and minerals. Will we get a push back right back above the 43s? That's something I'd keep an eye out for a nice little lift there back towards 45s. And then we could see if we get 50s. CCJ started to get a little bit of a lift, and this one's kept the strength and could get that nice little uplift move. MP, SGML. Isn't this the one that Tesla was supposedly to buy, SGML? We'll see what happens. I'll tell you one thing. These lithium names don't look too bad. Especially happy that I got LAC here. And I have it at 2093. So I actually am going to be looking to add in the next couple of days as this continues higher. Right now, I could add right at my entry, but that's not going to really help me. I want to get a nice little pullback, have a little bit of a better average. We'll see what happens there. All right, guys, it's 3:54. We got about 5 minutes left for you. It's action-packed here. Of course, we'll keep going. We'll take a look at some other stocks in the market. Out of basic materials, going to consumer cyclical. Department stores having a lift today. Macy's getting a nice little lift. And what is this starting to lift on? Well, this is starting to lift on that we could be out of recession concerns, right? And if we're out of recession concerns, will you see these stocks start to push higher? Yeah, I think you can see these stocks push higher. KSS looking good right now. I wanted to take a look at like a Ross Stores, stocks like that, to see if that could go higher. And that pulled back fast today. So just be careful. It might not be the cheaper stores. It could just go straight to the department stores. Macy's getting a little bit of a lift. We'll see if these stocks can keep pushing. Leisure stocks continuing. Of course, you got Royal Caribbean there. You got your Expedia there. You got Booking. Booking just started to push strong. Of course, I would look at Expedia to take a look at it play like that. Or you could take a look at the lodging overall. I was talking about Hilton today. Would that one catch the dip and start going higher? This doesn't actually look too bad here. Nice little pullback to 149. Would have to risk off the 148. You know what? Let's take a little bit of a swing trade shot here. Why not Hilton back to the upside? I'll take a little bit of a shot there. I'll take a shot on 149.14. Just grabbed a little bit of a piece there. We'll see what happens there on Hilton. Can he come back towards 150? I kind of like this one. Marriott also going higher, so that doesn't look too bad. And one that does look good also, Airbnb now starting to lift. I'd be looking for pullbacks on that one, but has been strong last week and continuing into this morning. We'll see what happens on Hyatt. That's another one that I like on the pullback. Just pulled back there towards that kind of nice little high around 117. Looks like it wants to get back up there towards 122. This one doesn't look too bad there on Hyatt Hotels. Wyndham is one that's kind of lagging and making a little bit of a laggard play and could start getting going right back up there through the 75. Multiple highs in the same area. So look for that 74.95, 75, and today 74.99 to be taken out tomorrow and see if Wyndham can go higher. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other action. CCL, LEU probably helping it out today. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Verizon, agree, bro. Could see a dividend cut. Yeah, AT&T did it, and I could see that continue going. Verizon, just not the same. T-Mobile's where it's at, really, if you're looking at wireless. All right, let's keep going, guys. We'll see what happens in the inflationary plays, but keep your eyes on it. I've been seeing silver get up higher. I've been seeing orange juice get up higher, lumber, palladium, soybean oil, crude getting a little bit of a lift, energy starting to push a little bit higher. Should we go buying the dip now in these oil names? I feel like XOM is giving us an opportunity. Chevron pulling back here, though, towards the close. We'll see what happens on these oil names. I'm keeping a close eye to see if they make that next down move. Of course, I got stopped out of it recently, had a really nice position in XOM. It never came up there. Might have gotten shaken out by the EIA's mention, of course, of crude going to 78 and 80s by the end of the year. And they could have been wrong. But I kind of trusted on them of that forecast. Of course, they know more mathematics and statistics in the oil game than I do. So there you guys see it. We'll see. They might have just gotten me out of the game. We'll see what happens there. All right, T-Mobile most likely gets hit. Jay said, I agree. It could get hit. And views on Norwegian cruise lines. I like it. It's just more along. It's been too much. I actually played it from down here below 14s into the 17. But of course, I played it too small. That went a lot higher. I'd be looking for pullbacks to the 50 moving average, 1752. Come back here towards 18 and then catch the dip. I'll be looking for that dip to maybe get in. But for right now, I wouldn't be jumping on this dip. I will see if this one can pull back a little bit further. Same thing for Royal, same thing for Carnival. But I will tell you right now, I even myself am looking at booking either a Carnival or a Norwegian cruise for next year. And I've been looking at them all weekend. So I'm going to get one. What does that tell you guys? I think that tells you more and more how I think you're going to see more cruise lines doing well. So I'll keep an eye on it with CCL, Royal, and of course, Norwegian. All right, we got about 1 minute here. Is Rivian over? Let's take a look there. Rivian. We'll see if this can keep going towards the next levels or not. I feel like this has had a pretty good 2 weeks, but the daily candles keep holding. 9 EMA is your friend. Until that breaks, I feel like you're holding up pretty well right now. So that's like a pullback towards 22.89s, 23 crack. At 23 cracks, that's where you got to really be careful. 9 EMA right now sitting around 23.42s. You had a nice little pullback to that level today, and then it caught right around there. So if it doesn't break kind of the 23s right now, it could still come back up. Rivian, I think, will stay strong as long as you're seeing Tesla stay strong, as long as you're seeing Ford stay strong, and GM stay strong. And today, Ford really cracking right back down the 15s to 14. I actually wanted to short Ford. I'm kind of upset I wasn't able to do it because, of course, they came in with news in the pre-market. They kind of ruined it. My top trade today was Ford short, but I just never was able to get the trade in. And GM also coming back down there to 38.75. We'll see what happens on those. But Rivian is pulling back. And if those pull back, a lot of the times they start to crack. Tesla leads the race here, and it's up there to 290. If it gets to 300, you could see Rivian just come right back up. Lucid also bouncing a little bit. Yeah, but will these kind of hold the gains? That's one thing to think about. LI Auto continuing to the upside. XPEV trying to catch a little bit of a dip here at the 14s, go right back up towards the 15s. Doesn't look like a bad stock to keep an eye out for a swing trade. Francis wants to know, where can I buy a Benzinga shirt? Well, of course, you can go to swag.benzinga.com, of course, and check out some of the Benzinga swag. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at the action. It's 4:01. We're going to wrap it up here. Let's go to the SPY and see what else is going on here in the market. Looks like we just got a pull back here right towards the close. Of course, what's going to be reporting tomorrow? Bank of America reports tomorrow. There's a couple of reports to keep an eye out for. We'll see what happens with that one. Can we get the lift off tomorrow? Of course, you got Interactive Brokers. You got Pinnacle, JB Hunt. Just keep your eyes on it. There's going to be a lot reporting tomorrow. You got PNC in the morning, Morgan Stanley. Will Morgan Stanley get hit also? I mean, it's pulled back recently. Let's see if this one starts to get the lift off and we can keep going with our earnings. And of course, keep your look on earnings overall. Those are going to be really interesting as they're expected to pull back and decline about 7% year over year. Will this earnings season be a disaster that stops the rally? That's my question. Of course, you guys feel free to hit up the comments after this chat or hit me up at MoneyMitchBZ. Tell me what you guys think. Will earnings ruin this tech rally? We'll find out, of course. And of course, you guys can check me out tomorrow morning on PreMarket Prep, of course, with Dennis Dick on PreMarket Prep. That always starts at 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern. And I'll see you guys bright and early. Hit the like. And we'll see. Can my Hilton swing trade get into the green? We'll find out. LAC, Deere, still looking good. eBay, not looking too bad. PLD, find out, of course. I got 5 positions on right now. I'll see you guys bright and early to give you guys an update. Like always, you guys can keep up with me at MyMoneyMitchBZ and also include a little bit of an underscore there if you're on the Threads life. I'll see you next time, team.